Hey, happy afternoon, y'all. Friday! It's Friday. Yay. I had a good day. It was actually, well, we were kind of, me and old girl were like, why are we here? And the manager comes out, oh, we got a 160-yard flowable fill. Why didn't he just load us with it from the other fucking plant? Send us here or to the job, which the job was quite literally on the way to the other plant. Behold, this story is the reason why I drink. So anyway, so I said to her, I said, I don't think the dude is in charge. She goes, I don't think so either. I said, I think he went to an appointment or a meeting or to the bathroom for an extended period of time. Because this doesn't fucking make sense, especially for her and I, right? Not to mention, we sat at the plant. We were doing 600 yards from 3. Well, I had to clock in at 3. I clocked in at like 20 of. Get the truck ready and roll out. I was on gate duty. Yeah, I had to close the gate. I was the only one that come in early today for my plant. So, he had me and old girl and a few of the regulars down there doing our thing. And I called her. I got the Bluetooth going, and I'm like, I don't get it. And she's like, I don't know why. She goes, it's not that we had to go there. I was like, yeah, but they could have loaded us. She's like, yeah, they could have loaded us with these jobs from there. Because this one job, the flowable fill, that I didn't even get to partake in, was on the way to the plant. She goes, it was literally like right there. I'm like, you're kidding. She's like, no, we could have dropped it off en route. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. She's like, yeah, it is. And then they loaded, when I got there, they loaded me with a job that should have been loaded out of my plant. So when I call her, I was like, are they routing you back yet? She's like, no. I said, let me tell you what they did to me. So I get there. I don't even partake in this job that they send me there for. They send me to a job that should have been loaded out of my plant, which made absolutely no sense at all. Why they bothered? It was the long way. It took me probably 10 extra minutes to get to this other plant than it would have taken me to leave the plant that I was at, jet to my plant, grab the load, and head out, and it would have been quicker. Because my plant is like a quarter of the distance less. It was like, what in the hell are they doing? What are they doing? So anyway, yeah. Shit, I'm even confusing myself, and I haven't even gotten a sip in yet. So anyway, I call her. I was like, you're never going to believe this. She was what? I said, first, they route me here to do that job that you did, to send me on a job that isn't even that job, that should have been loaded out of my plant. She was like, what the fuck? And I was like, and then they routed me back. And I was 3/4 of the way back when I got a message come up. Ticket has changed. You will return to the plant too. My turn was 5 miles back that way. I passed it fucking ages ago. She goes, well, they probably did that as soon as they figured out that they weren't going to need 160 and they cut it down to about 70, and the guys that are there can take care of it. That doesn't make any sense. Why? This whole situation doesn't make sense. Someone is not, our main guy is not in the helm. She's, no, I don't think he is. I think, yeah. I said, it's the other one. The one that's confused all the time. And I bet you our girl, she's brilliant. This girl is spot on. She's trying to take up for our dude. So, then we get informed of other stuff. She goes, yeah, now they're sending me to a job that should have been loaded out of your plant. I don't know. And then they washed out one of my guys. I'm sitting there like, why did they wash him out early? I said, so what's going on tomorrow? She goes, oh, regular stuff. Start time, same, 5:36. Thank God. But anyway, next Wednesday, every single plant that we have has got at least one 500-yard pour going on. And we only have 58 trucks. And she's like, and that's not the only job. She goes, there's other little ones in there. Like 30-yarder, 40-yarder, this, that, and the other thing. After. I said, it's not the yardage. It's where it is located in respects to the plant and who's finishing it. She's like, that's true. I said, because we had the one finisher who does 50 yards in 40 minutes. Or we could get this other one. It takes him all motherfucking day to do 50 yards. It just depends. And so I can bet, we can guarantee, I can guarantee, because I've seen this before. My spidey senses are telling me it's going to be a 16-hour day. Now, I don't mind coming in the middle of the fucking night. She's like, but I'm guessing. She goes, we're going to end up coming in at midnight and doing that one out of my plant. She goes, then we're going to get tossed over to go down south and help them with theirs. Finish that up. And then it's going to be literally throwing darts at a map. I said, but the good thing was, today, I said, who was missing? She goes, well, the tester guy was different. I said, no, the one with the glasses was there. He was just probably hiding when you got tested. He was there. He tested me 4 times out of the 6. Mm-hmm. She was like, no kidding. I was like, yeah. See, it's 600 yards, 600 plus. So the first truck gets tested. And then the next truck is 110 yard. That gets tested. So the first 2 rounds, we all kind of kept in sequence with each other, getting the momentum going. So she did, and then the truck that loaded right behind her this morning, he tested, and then the rest of the day it was me. And actually, I started off as the 4th truck. So I ended up as the 2nd truck in the rotation. So I jumped everybody. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a good night. But yeah, she's like, you're testing again? I was like, this is what happens when you jump the line, you know. The 2 that were in front of me, 3, 2, yeah. What was I? Was I 40 or 60? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I remember, yeah, I was 60 this morning. And I jumped 1, 2, yeah, I jumped 4. I passed 4 people pouring out. Could me and old girl get it done. This is how we roll. Now, our trucks look like complete shit. My truck is the dirtiest I think it has ever been in his entire existence. Even under my ownership, it is the nastiest I have ever had a truck look. Since I gotten brand new trucks. This is horrific. Yeah. I should have grabbed some of the South Plant's acid today, but I forgot. Her and I were bullshitting. Waiting an hour to be told, take it north. This is not something that showed up today. This is something that was on the book. This is something they should have already planned for. They should have already told us. When I was the last truck, my 610 yard test, my ticket should have reflected, head to that other plant as soon as I got done. And I would have probably called her, hey, we're heading there. They should have routed her. They should have routed me. They should have routed one other person. Yeah. And he did go. He came out and told me, I'm right behind you. I got to switch the trucks. Okay. So, yeah, it was one of those days. But yeah, we had one guy not on the thing, and that was the guy that doesn't know how to process his ticket. Yeah, that guy. He was not on our tour thing today, and we were like, woo woo, it'll be peaceful. And you know what time we got done? The same time. Same time without him. Because he holds everybody up. He makes not an ounce of difference in production at all. There's one other guy we're trying to get rid of off of the night crew. It's like, keep his ass on days. We cannot stand this individual. It's not just me. My opinions are, usually I don't voice my opinions on much of anything unless there's a collective unification of the same opinion. Otherwise, it's my opinion. I keep my shit to myself in the work for him. I said, what the fuck is going on? I asked her about my manager. I said, why is he over at your plant? She's like, I don't know. I said, they've got the fucking barge guy batching for our... I know my plant is open and functioning. We're running. Why is the batch manager at your plant in charge of shit right now? What the fuck is going on? Did your batch guy get fucking reprimanded for losing his shit on somebody the other day? Is he trying to show him how to be PR? Now, earlier today, thank God I went to a finisher that is I'm close to. He used to pour concrete with us, and he was here when I first started. Right, so I pull up on the job, and he was like, "Hey!" And I was like, "Oh!" It was like group hug, right? His whole crew, they were like, "Ah!" Right. Anyway, I love this guy, and I love the guys that he's got on his team. Now, he subs for people that need finishers, so he's got a crew of guys, and he has his own stuff, but he also subcontracts. We have one guy actually used to be a professional football player when he was young. Now he's kind of big and fat. But anyway, he does a lot of jobs, but his crew changes. this region, and it's really weird. And I'm gonna break away from my great fucking day and kind of explain a little bit of the dynamics of the finishing elements. Now, I came into this green, didn't know shit about fucking concrete and how things worked and whatever. So, we got this builder who has this finishing crew on contract. So, this finishing crew does all of that builder stuff. And that finishing crew may do their own stuff. Okay, that's cool. All right. Now, you've got contractors. They just do concrete, right? And they usually do like private home, residential. They might get a big build. Hey, we're going to do this great big slab because they're going to be putting a big barn over it, kind of thing, right? And they're building a barn and we're pouring the floor, and that's all we're doing is pouring the floor and getting the fuck out of Dodge. That kind of arrangement. Now, this individual, he's got a business license for concrete construction, but he doesn't have a standard crew. He snags my buddy and his guys. My buddy and his guys do their own thing most of the time. But if they ain't got nothing going on, they'll hang out with him for a while. And then he'll be like, hey, do you got time? I got a couple of jobs lined up. Do you want to hang out with me for a while? And he'll do work for this individual for maybe a year or two. And when the work dries up for that guy, or the guy takes vacation, that finisher guy and his crew will bounce over to somebody else. So, here was the fucked up thing about this job that I went to. That should have been loaded out of my plant. So I get out there. Well, I get loaded. It starts with getting loaded. So I get loaded, and I'm sitting there mixing. And I'm looking at my meter, and I was like, I know as soon as I get out of this fucking hole, it is going to climb. So it's reading 15, 16, 17 right now in the hole. Soon as I get horizontal, regular level with the earth, that shit's going to go up 200 psi. So I'm sitting there mixing it, and I'm watching it, and I'm mixing it, and I'm trying to wait for a break in the fucking radio, and I got these two Nimrods who are out at the job that I am supposed to be going to, talking about crap. Like, hey, did you ever get the AC working in your truck? And you know what? Nobody fucking cares. Shut the fuck up. I need to know that there is a gravel entrance. Do not take the concrete entrance. Take the gravel entrance. No, I wasn't given that information. They were too busy worrying about the other guy's fucking air conditioning. So I end up calling the batch guy on the phone, because I have his number. He's like, yeah, what's up? I was like, 40 gallons, please. And he says, huh? I said, I need 40 gallons. If the Magpies would shut the fuck up on the radio, I would have called you on the radio. Oh, yeah. So the next thing you know, I'm expecting this PSI meter to drop 400 PSI. Oh, no. I think he put 80 gallons on me. Because there I am, like, are you fucking joking me? This should not have dropped this much. So he fucked up. Anyway, so I roll out with it, and I go real slow. And I take the fucking scenic route, getting there with a bowl going 2.5 rotation the whole way. And I look at the thing and I'm like, I'm praying to God this shit is not on the side of a fucking mountain. Because I will beg for forgiveness. Because I did not want to get a dry up, because it just fucks the shit out of the fins in your truck. So I get up there, and of course, I don't know that I'm not supposed to go on the concrete driveway because the concrete driveway is fucking tore up and broke up anyway. They're gonna do the whole thing. They're starting at the top and working their way back. So, yeah, we know that is getting replaced, and they don't give a shit. Break it all you want, but they didn't want us going across the bridge. I didn't know. It's not that big of a bridge. It's literally probably a 5-foot span. And it's fucking thick. Anyway, so I wasn't given any information. I was like, did they get this ticket signed? And I called the batch guy. He didn't mention anything. No, don't go across the bridge. If you're looking at the concrete, don't go across concrete. Go up the road a little bit. There's a gravel patch. But you're going to have to go to the very end of the street, flip a bitch to get up the hill because it's a backward turn. No details, no information, no communication whatsoever. So up I go, this concrete driveway, because it's all fucking tore up anyway. It's got cracks and bumps and dips and anyway. I get to the top, and that's where I see Buddy, and he's like, hey! And I'm like, oh! And yeah. And the dude comes up to me, and he's like, did you go across the bridge? I was like, yeah. I told them. I was like, no one told me shit. I sat down there at the bottom of the fucking hill, right in front of this driveway, called the batch guy, asked him, hey, is the ticket signed? And he was like, yeah, I hope so. I was like, well, who was the first one on the job? He was like, this guy. Yeah, it probably is. Whatever. So I get up to the top of the hill, and I even tell the dude that went, hey, I'm like, I gotta tell you, I got batched by dude. He was like, oh, you dry or wet? I said, I asked him to put 40 on me because I was a fucking 2. Well, that should be fine. What do you mean? I said, let's see what it looks like. Because I'm on an incline right now, and the fucking meter is saying 750. Huh? Like, yeah, it's like a 6.5, dude. He goes, you came all the way from there with that? I was like, it was worse. He goes, what was it when you left? I said 667 or some shit. And you slowed the bowl. I said, I slowed the bowl. I did everything in my fucking physical power to tighten this shit up before I got here. A 5.5, 6 on a 5-inch slump on the ticket, no one's going to go crazy about. But this stuff, I looked at it and I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, I asked for 40. I think he put 80 on me. He like, let's see it. And so I pour out like a little bit, and it starts going. I mean, there's this one section is just, I'm like, and I'm sitting there all locked in on a hill, and I lost air pressure. He's like, what happened? I said, I don't know. I said, I know that when I was coming up the concrete, I heard a I don't know if it was Coke bottle or if it was my airbag. But I heard it, and I can't see anything dripping, and I can't hear anything hissing. So I don't fucking know. Maybe it's just me holding the brake is causing this thing to drop. I don't know. Anyway, he just laughed, and he's like, yeah, just whatever. Just get up there and see. Let's see what you got. So I pour out a little bit. He's like, yeah, back it down. We're going to do the flesh. Come here. I said, I am so sorry. I just did not want to get a fucking dry up. And so the little Mexican crew, they were laughing, and they're like, yeah, just pile it. You're fine. Just fucking get it off the truck, right? And I told him, I said, I am so sorry about the slump. I am usually not like that. I had to get tested like 5 times this morning. 4 times out of the, 600 yards. And he was like, no shit. And I said, yeah. And I was perfect every fucking time. I know what this thing reads on Elite. So me asking for 40 gallons on a 2-inch slump, he goes, oh no, that's reasonable. I was like, I don't think he put 40. I think he put 80 just to be a prick. Because, yeah. Anyway. So he's like, I'll have some words with him later. I was like, you do that. So anyway, I even called when I called him. I said, I don't know what the fuck you put on me. I said, I asked for 40. It looks like 80. Yeah. You fucking shitbag. Anyway, so this finisher is probably going to give him hell. But anyway, yeah. I got PR with that particular. He's like, hey, I still gonna need your trailer. I said, well, I don't want you borrowing the trailer. I said, so it would be easier if I took you out there. I'll drive you out there to get it, and you ride it back. I ain't rode in a while, whatever. Da, 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 da. I was like, it's like having sex. Don't worry, they haven't changed it. I can assure you. I went years celibate. And the first time I did, and I even told the guy that I was about to have sex with, I was like, I haven't had sex in so long, I think they've changed it. And I got that off friends. So he just started laughing. No, I said, my trailer is predominantly used to house my grill right now. But if I need to take the bike down to get worked on, that's what it's for. Short distances. It's not for 3-hour treks. It's to go into Nashville, drop the bike off, and come back. You know, nothing. You know, I bought it to move my bike. Yep. It says in the backyard. Next to my other one, that's cargo trailer. They're little. They ain't nothing big. And you know, I can get like 2 Bobcat scoops of sand on the one, and it starts to squat it. And the motorcycle trailer, it needs new tires. You know, it's not even titled. I bought it at this dealership, and I thought the title was in the packet of stuff. He's like, here, this came with the trailer. I looked at it, there's no title in here. Oh, you'll have to apply for a bonded title. I was like, what the fuck, guy? And I can't get to the data plate because they modified it. The data plate on the trailer is behind the tire mount. There's a spare tire mount on this fucking trailer. I'd have to take the tire mount off to get to the data plate. I'm not that ambitious. Here in Tennessee, as long as it's flatbed, uncovered, not concealed, it isn't like a box trailer or whatever, you don't even need to tag it. I had my other one tagged because I brought that from New York. I had to temporary tag it to get it out of New York State because everything's got to be tagged up there. But here in Tennessee, yeah, I got a semi-tag on that one. But this one takes the bike to the dealer, to the service, whatever, and home. So I need to buy your trailer. I was like, well, you find your bike, you let me know, I'll figure it out. I'll call, dispatch and be like, hey, I need a 4-day vacay. And he'll be like, what are you doing? I'm taking Dopey here out to here. And if he can't ride it, then I will. Oh, we're picking up a motorcycle. So, refill! Whoop, whoop. That ain't bad. 30 minutes? Oh, I'm doing good today. I usually guzzle these fuckers. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have to go buy another gin. I got literally like 8 beers down here. I'm not in the mood for it. This is gin and juice season. It's summer. I don't know. It just feels better. But anyway. So yeah, I had a great day. Got to catch up with one of the guys that I used to work with, and he finishes now. He was finishing before. He's come and gone. He is a good guy. Crazy as hell. I don't know if I ever told the story of the one time when I first started, and I didn't want to be too bold for starting because I was in the military. Yeah, I got lots of crazy shit that comes out of my mouth. Anyway, so he's calling up. We had CBs back then. We went through a span of time where we didn't have CB radios. We were using Zello and calling each other on the phone because they took them out, and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" We love these things because we can communicate with each other. Anyway, he's calling up the dispatch. Hey, you look out your window. It's coming up the road. You can look out your window. So he used to have a desk at this one plant that I was at, and literally, he'd get up from his desk, look out the window, and he could see someone jogging up the road. And it was a really cute girl with pink sneakers, about the color of this fucking bandana. Anyway, I'm like, what the fuck is he going on about, right? So I get to the plant, and I'm like, you hear him caterwauling? And he's like, what the hell is he talking about? I was like, so I run through the plant. I get to the door, and I was like, oh, you might want to see this. And he was like, why didn't you say something to him? I was like, because I didn't know what the hell. Now I know what he's talking about. Come, Heather. So he gets up. So 4 guys and me standing in the glass. And we're looking. I was like, yeah, she's pretty cute. And we're all looking. And I was like, and I said, I wanted to get on the radio so bad. So I got these 4 guys in the office and I'm telling the story. So I'm listening to this motherfucker. Hey, you need to get out there, whatever. And all I can think in my head, I can see this asshat coming back to the fucking plant, rushing out, grabbing these chutes and putting all 4 of them on. This is before we had flippers, right? Getting all 4 chutes on, beelining it out the yard and going up next to this bitch, jogging up the fucking street, going, hey, baby, let me show you what my chutes can do. This is how crazy this motherfucker is. This is the guy I poured for today. Everybody I tell that story to, yep, that's him. That is definitely him. We were all fucking rolling. We were all rolling. So the 4 guys in the office are like, that's fucking, you should have. And I was like, well, I ain't been here that long. And it's like, how long have I been here? Like maybe a month? I said, I didn't want everybody to know what kind of fucked up humor I've got yet. So they were just, that's fucking great. That's fucking great. And like, yeah, we could see him doing that. So anyway, this is my Friday. I got to figure out what to eat. I was starving all day long. I did not eat a lot yesterday at all. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking hungry. I don't want to eat breakfast sandwiches. I get on a habit of eating bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. And, yeah, I'll gain 30 pounds in 3 weeks. We don't need to do that. Even though the one place that has the best sandwiches in town is like right around the corner from my plant and if I had stalled long enough, yeah. But yeah, I had to be in at 3. I keep telling my dispatcher, I said, if you need me in the middle of the night, make sure it's before I am off my yard before 4. He's like, why is that? I said, because the market opens up and they got the best fucking sandwiches. He's like, there ain't nothing better than yours. I said, nothing's better than mine, but I don't want to cook at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Yeah, I let them do it for me. And theirs are just as good as mine, and yeah, I will be the size of a house. Keep me away from that motherfucker. He started laughing. He's like, all right. So 3 o'clock in the morning. Usually I get there by 2:30. If I'm scheduled at 4, I get there about 3:30. I clock in about 20 minutes till. Just in case I get to my truck, I turn it on, it says low coolant. And then I have to change it. And then I have to check it. And then I gotta get up there and get the ladder. I can't reach the coolant from the ground. So I wait until the low cool, and then I fill up 2 gallons. And I top it off. And then I take notes when it was serviced, when they topped it, how long the coolant actually lasts. That way I can mark a date and I make an appointment for my truck. Okay, I'm going to top off this, I'm going to top off this, and I'm going to top off this because I know that it takes this long for it to start to get low. I had a bad radiator, so we're starting over. So, yeah, and I forgot to write it down. So, this Saturday, well, actually tomorrow, I need to go in a little early and we're going to check it. Because I had services last month. My services got done in March. I know it was in March. I just can't remember what day. It's now almost mid-April. Yeah, it's about a month. So, yeah, it's probably due. I'm probably down a gallon or so. Top it off and I'm on merry way. But tomorrow looks like a pretty reasonable day. I'll probably do about 3 or 4 loads and be done. My grass has grown. I wish I could do like a camera type of thing to show how fast the fucking grass grows here. This Tennessee, this is crazy. Also, there's a video I saw the other day. Lady was like, I thought this shit was illegal in Tennessee. No, it ain't. They chemtrailing all the time. Today they were bold about it because I was out of the job and I was like, it's gonna rain this week. They're like, what do you mean? I said, we've had blue skies for 3 days, and if we get blue skies for 3 fucking days, they chemtrailing. No, they don't. I was like, watch. They're chemtrailing right now. Wait until the next, They do not. Yes, they do. I said, remember when we got rain a couple weeks ago? It didn't rain a lot, but it rained. And they're like, yeah. I said, did you happen to look at the full moon? No. You need to start looking at the sky more. They're like, why? I said, because I was checking out the full moon and happened to notice that the chemtrails went like this and then across it like that. And the moon was right in the middle. No. I said, yeah, I should have taken a picture of it. Should have gotten a video of it. I was busy. I'm at work. A lot of times, the only time that I can think of doing videos is when it's like right on my dash. And there's, sometimes it's just not feasible to get out and do it. And then when I do have time to get out and do it, I'm not in a position where you can see what the fuck it is that I was all fascinated about that I needed to get out and do it. Building in the way, some shit like that. So, yeah. Or the fucking thing set before I could get a chance to get a damn video of it. On my way to work, it's like I'll be pulling off on the shoulder, taking pictures of the moon and, whatnot. I have done that. Everybody thinks I'm a weirdo. I don't care. But anyway. I had a great day today. Things were a little squirrely at the end. I'm not really concerned. I don't think my dispatch was in charge. And tomorrow should be a reasonably decent day. And I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, that dude that was not on this job today, he is like, he's like a bad omen. Every time he is on a job, we have chronic breakdown. Like, girls' whole panel went like kerplunk kerplooey, and she needed a fuse. Me, I had a tire. I've gone through 6 fucking tires. My tire went out. My tire sensor went out. Another guy, what the fuck was he there? Oh, he was there for something. God, I can't even remember what the fuck it was. But the shop was there for him. And he was, fixing some shit on his truck before he could even go into service. And the shop was there helping him. Today, no issues. Nobody had issues. I didn't have tire issues, weird engine issues, nothing. He wasn't on the job. The other night, or Friday, what was it, Friday night? Friday night, when he was on the job, we ended up having to call the shop in to do like 2 or 3 other things for trucks. It was like they were there pretty much. Okay, who else has issues? Tire here, something there. This guy, he's fucking jinxed. Got her loaded at 3:45. She was washed down, sitting there waiting. They said, don't leave until 10 minutes till. So it was like, yeah, she was washed down and ready by 3:45. And she had to wait about 5 minutes before she could leave because they didn't have the thing open. And, yeah, I was heading in to get loaded when she was heading out. This guy was not on the crew last night, and it was fucking peaceful. Fast, peaceful. It was 670 yards, and they literally had 10 of us. 10. And we got it done by, it was probably like 9:45 in the morning. Less than 6 hours. We were doing 100 yards an hour. Because we did not have to mess with this fucking clown getting in our way. It was awesome. Yeah, it just takes one. One thorn. And yeah. It's like one bad apple will rotten the whole bushel. That's what this guy is. He's not a mean person. He's not a bad person. He's just brain damaged. And he's been with us far too long. Far too long to be this idiotic. And that's saying it as kindly as I fucking can. So, yeah, that was my work rants today. Nothing serious. I mean, nothing real tragic. I can't, kind of dull, actually. But it's Friday. And I got 12 hours. Woo woo! And I gotta work tomorrow. And I probably gotta work Sunday night. That means as soon as I get off work tomorrow, and I'll probably take the bike. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I'm watching the forecast. It looks like clouds are brewing in the Great Lakes, so let's see what they do. I've gotta mow the grass. I hate my yard. I need a landscaper. I would pay good money for a fucking landscaper. Someone who would do mulch and plant stuff, and yeah, I would pay top dollar for someone to take care of my fucking yard for me. But I can't find anybody who can do it. So it's It's up to me. They're lucky the grass gets mowed. I've got to go through my flower beds and break those out. Yeah, I'm starting to... I'm hungry. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Those of y'all stuck around. Those of you like my work rants. Here you go. Nothing too tragic. I got my stickers on my helmet. This is the low profile helmet. Alright, so to give you an example of what the difference is. Buddy of mine got me this. One, because it's matte finish. He thought it would look better with my bike. But my old helmet, I still haven't got my Chiquita banana sticker. I need to get it. But anyway, my old helmet looked like this. And it like take up half my head. I mean, it's huge. It's fucking huge. Anyway, and I got all my little crazy stickers on here. But he got me this one for Christmas. So I've got my Open Road Girl stickers on there. Because I love them. I love that. The lady who started it, I just love her. She's great. But this one is, it fits so much better. It's not as huge. Well, I got my glasses in the way. That fucking doesn't help. Usually these are on my face. Take them off. Quick. Show you the difference in the fitment. Alright, this is the low profile one it's DOT. Yeah. I got fingerprints and shit all over it. But this is how this one fits. I gotta get my... I don't know how... I'm gonna go buy a banana this weekend. I gotta... Hey, yeah, this one here, I literally encapsulated this with fucking nail acrylic. Because this is like the 4th sticker. My Chiquita banana. Yeah, I'm in the club. But anyway, the difference between that one and this one. And, yeah. Every time I see myself in this helmet, I think of that. What is that little, like, cartoon, that little red mushroom? Yeah, I feel like Mushroom Head. But, anyway, yeah, my stickers. If men had periods, would they brag about the size of their tampons? Of course, hairdo by helmet, because the reason I got the dreads was because I got sick of brushing out the braid. Motorcycles and Jesus, a way of life. Well, yeah, I like Jesus. Now, am I a Christian? No, I'm Gnostic. But we like Jesus. Freedom of speech should require intelligence. I was blessed at Bald Knob. If you don't know what that is, it's a blessing of the bike. It's a giant mountain with a big cross up there. Yeah. A friend of mine asked me to go, and I did. And it was a good time. And then, of course, a friend of mine gave me a bunch of hers when her and her husband used to ride and whatnot. She was like, I found these stickers. You want them? I was like, yeah. She goes, go through them. If you don't want them, just throw them away. But, yeah, I got one that says I ride my vibrator. Anyway, that is all, y'all. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Yes, I'm crazier than a 3-legged duck. But you know what? I'm a happy crazy duck. Crazy 3-legged duck. Yeah. And, yeah, this is all part of this is what happens when you heal. You don't give a shit no more. I don't. I really don't. It's called moving on. Stay blessed. Whatever theology you are. Have a drink on me. This is number 2. And, yeah. God, I'm fucking so happy right now. It doesn't even make sense. But, yeah. Stay safe. Peace out. Thanks for watching.